Greetings BArcadians and welcome to the virtual towers of Binary Arcadia, where the games go on long into the night. Now then, if you're anything like me and you decided to masochistically torture yourself on hard mode when playing Ghost of Tsushima, well, this video is for you. And specifically we're going to be focusing on duels, which are notoriously difficult on hard mode. Charming. And if you're anything like me, you probably felt quite similar to this poor Mongolian warrior trapped in an infinitely painful loop as you faced your first few duels in Ghost of Tsushima. Dueling in Ghost of Tsushima is definitely all about timing, patience, and learning the attacks of your opponent. So strengthen that resolve, pick yourself up, dust yourself down, and let's get to it. So, first major tip. Now this might seem a bit of an obvious one, but believe me, I think I was 4 duels in before I actually took the time to optimize my loadout. As you'll know, once you crack on with a game, you do unlock 2 major charm slots and 4 minor charm slots. So make sure you've not left your charm of Anarion, which doubles your supplies, or anything stealth based, for example. It's going to be wasted in a duel scenario. Instead, what we want to be focusing on is, well, it all depends on your playstyle. If you've got more of an aggressive playstyle, well, you're probably going to want to look at melee charms, attack power buffs, stagger charms as well might well be useful. Anything that's going to give you a little bit more power when you're taking on your opponent. If you're more defensively minded, then you probably want to look at buffing your health, vitality, and also look at defense charms, which will take the edge off some of those more painful attacks when you're dueling. Now, by far and away, the best charm you can get your hands on is something called the charm of Mizu Nokami. And essentially, it makes parries, perfect parries and perfect dodges easier to perform, which is going to stand you in good stead for any duel. So let's get stuck into our first fight. So this guy, it was that sweeping attack you just saw, that red sweeping attack that I found the most difficult to time the blocking of. And I generally find that, I think, sweeping attacks from low to high, I just struggle with. Kicks there, as you'll see. Also, difficult moves, you can't parry those. Just to set out some basic rules, and I'll just pause this for a second. For those who don't know, the red attacks are unblockable, so you're going to be wanting to be dodging those attacks. The blue attacks can be parried. So really, first and foremost, the best thing you can do is sit back a bit, dodge is your best friend for now, and learn those patterns that the enemies are distributing in your direction. So let's get back into it. Oh, that stepping stone combo of his is also a difficult one to time. So yeah, you can see here we're waiting for the enemy. We're not going to play too aggressively. We're going to relax, we're going to sit back, and we're just going to learn some of his attack movements so we can begin to control the battle. Now you can see at the top of his health bar there is a white bar. It's quite hard to see, but that actually represents the enemy's guard, which if you do decide to play aggressively, you can stagger the enemy for an opening. But by far and away, the easiest way to cut down the enemy's health is via perfect parrying and perfect dodging. I'm not too sure which is the better. Parries seem to work best for me. And you can see there, I think I pulled off at least close to a perfect parry. You'll find that you get the most efficient damage done to an enemy with a perfect parry. So we're getting close now. We're going to hopefully defeat this enemy shortly. There's one of his sweeping unblockables again. There we go. Do you see that? Perfect parry, and his health absolutely got smashed. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful duel in Autumn Leaves. Now we're moving on. So next up we're looking at armor now. So we've optimized our charms, but don't forget armor. Don't go bundling into duels with just the traveler's attire on. Make sure you take this seriously and you are dressed like a warrior. So of these armor sets that you can see, probably the 3 best would be the Samurai Clan for a defensive approach. The Ronin attire would probably serve you if you're a bit more aggressive. It's got a buff to melee damage. My personal choice is the Gosaku or Gosaku armor, which actually gives you a buff to your stagger damage, I believe. So I think once you open up these enemies for attack, you're probably going to get a little bit more bang for your buck with the stagger damage. Now this guy here is absolutely making me look like a fool. I'm not in the rhythm at all. His attacks are very aggressive. The combos are difficult to work out. I find again thrusting movements, which he does do in a minute. There we go. That thrusting movement is very difficult to parry and time because he's coming straight at you. But here we go. I'm starting to get a grip of the battle now, starting to get my head around it, starting to take some control of this enemy's movements. And I feel at this point his days are numbered. Now, something to see there, if you've unlocked the Heavenly Strike maneuver, it's a really good bit of a cheat, bit of an exploit. If you've got some resolve to spend, and perhaps if you want to just take a little bit of a break in the battle, that Heavenly Strike will literally, it's unblockable. The enemy can't stop it, and you'll cut straight through any attack that they're delivering to you. So not only does it give you a moment to breathe, but it also, importantly, takes a little bit of that precious health of the enemy down for you. I try not to overuse it because it doesn't seem with the spirit of dueling. But yes, it can certainly help you in a pinch, especially if, like now, I'm nearly dead. But there we go. I get the last hit. And I am the victor. So yes, BArcadians, something else to mention apart from optimizing your loadouts, making sure you've got the right outfit on, is your skill trees. The two main skill trees we want to focus on orient around parrying and dodging. Difficult to say which one exactly is the best to go for. If you're more of a defensive playstyle, you're probably going to want to look at the dodging skill tree first of all, which will get you the heck out of dodge plenty of times. And then if you're a bit more of an aggressive playstyle, you like to get in there, then parrying is probably going to be the way to go for you. But certainly a balance of both of these skill trees will serve you well when dueling. First and foremost, dodge is your best friend, that circle button. Make sure you've got your one tap, which is just going to give you a little sidestep or strafe away, or you've got your double tap if you've unlocked it, which will allow you to roll right out of the danger zone as quickly as possible. And again, at the start of a battle, stick to your dodge button, learn those rhythms before you get too trigger happy with your parry button, of course, L1. Train your fingers to, be very close at all times to the circle button and the L1 button. So you're just hovering over them. And obviously your go-to really is your dodge. So let's move on. So, we've got one of the more grunt-like duels, which very similar to your kind of Mongol shield warriors. So we want to switch to I think it's the wind stance straight away, just so we can open him up. General Dogshin, who by the end of this battle I was calling something slightly different, and I'll let you use your imagination on that one. But yeah, something to say on the wind stance actually. It could be used more broadly for a lot of the duels, and the reason I say that is this particular stance, if you hold triangle, you can see I did it just then, it unleashes a flurry of attacks in quick succession. So it doesn't require a lot from you, but the attacks are so fast that the enemy just can't get out of it. They can't respond or reply with anything of their own, and it very quickly wipes out that guard. As we said, at the top of the enemy's health bar, it's gone there, he's opened up, and I'm chopping away. So yeah, if you are a fan of an aggressive playstyle, you don't like to rely on that patience and timing so much, this stance could be for you. Alright, he loves that shield maneuver, doesn't he? That shield unblockable. And here we go. He's got me again. Good old General Dogshit. But, come on, let's keep going. We can do this. We've just got to keep our heads down. Keep staying wrapped to his maneuvers. We're not going to focus on being too aggressive. We're going to be patient. We're going to keep an eye out. Look at this. Perfect dodge. And we're going to lay into him for a few precious hits. But he's going strong. He is aggressive. We've opened him up again, though. We've got a nice parry there, and we're chopping away. We're tuning into our Zen-like state, so we can really There we go, and you can see there I've used what's called the Dance of Wrath. So again, another bit of a cheap maneuver like the Heavenly Strike, but will get you out of a tricky moment. And it's sometimes a nice way to end the battle in pretty fashion. So here we go, Kajiro. I think probably one of the tougher duels in the game, if I'm correct, although I haven't completed it yet. Again, very difficult combo style. Very difficult to read his attacks, and often these combos come in quick succession, and you can see here he's battered me straight away. Must say though, beautiful beautiful location here. So there's one of those thrusting attacks, again very difficult to parry. Our charm will no doubt help us. He even gets a kick in there. Kicks are difficult because you can't parry them, you can just block them or dodge. So again, look, you can see I'm being a bit more patient here, less aggressive, waiting for those openings, starting to get a grasp again. That stepping stone maneuver, again, another very difficult one to block. Sometimes better to just dodge and get yourself the hell out of there instead of trying to take him on. Very close, some resolve to save the day there. Right, we're getting very close now, both of us to death. But again, some resolve helped. I waited for him there, you see. I didn't rush in. At this point, play conservatively when you're at the back end of a battle. Especially if you want to avoid that frustration of another defeat. And that stepping stone maneuver, this time I've outfoxed him though. You know they're worried when you get a bit of text and a kind of a little interlude cutscene. It means you're getting close. And they tend to become a little bit more aggressive, I find, as well at the end of the duels. So again, you've got to be on your toes, you've got to be ready. And even if you spend 5 minutes just rolling away, gathering your composure, it's very worthwhile. And here we go. There we go. Look at that. Beautifully done. So there we are, BArcadians. Hopefully that little review of some of my gameplay and some of Tabz's top tips when dueling will help you conquer some of those more difficult duels on hard mode of Ghost of Tsushima. I can't speak for lethal mode, so please, BArcadians, let us know if you are a total madman or madwoman and have decided to try it on lethal mode. I think that's just a step too far for me. But suffice to say, dueling in this game is fantastic. One of my favourite elements of the game, I think. Not only is it super stylish and super cool, but there's quite the skill ceiling there, which is always very satisfying when you start to master it, as hopefully you will with a few of these tips. And don't forget, BArcadians, if I've missed anything out in this stream of consciousness video, then please do let us know in the comments if you've got any top tips to share with anybody else. Let's use the comment section as a bit of a think tank for conquering this difficult dueling mechanic in Ghost of Tsushima. And I think that's probably about it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to smash that like button to help grow and support the channel. Make sure you subscribed if you're not already, and ring that bell for notifications to catch every video Rich and I put out. And I think as we let this gameplay clip play us off into the horizon, I'll say farewell for now. And that's another one for the archives. Stamped and completed.